Yeah, we're recording. Cool. Welcome to another episode of Inkwa Talks Mini Chats. And with me today, I have the founder of Inkology Tattoos, Edge, aka
What's happening,
Edge2
man?
Digital. I'm good, man.
You alright, Rob?
Yeah.
You alright, Rob?
I'm good. I'm
Long
good.
time, mate.
It's been mad
Long
long.
time.
Way too long.
Yeah.
Every time I say I'm going to come down and check you, something comes up. And I'm sure it's
You
likewise.
know what? I'll be honest. You're better than me. You're better than me because I can't even remember the last time I come to check you. What was it? Your exhibitions?
Something like that. But ain't that far since I've come to check you, so we're as bad as each other, man.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah.
It happens.
How's it been going though, since like everything's happened and stuff? How's everything going down in the studio?
Talking about COVID. So obviously we have to shut when we got told. You know what I mean? So that's obviously affected people financially. It's affected people mentally as well. Because obviously, once you get into that routine of tattooing day to day, and then all of a sudden you get told you have to stop, it's a bit of a, I guess anyone in any industry, it's a bit of a mind fuck. You know what I mean? So you just have to realign, readjust, invest time and energy into other forms to get that creativity out, I guess. I guess that's what I've had to learn to do, basically adapt. But you know what I mean? I guess if you're getting into an industry of being a tattoo artist, you know firsthand yourself, you've got to be resilient, adaptable, and all the rest of it. So it's obviously it's been a mad one, I ain't gonna lie. But there's nothing we can't adapt or adjust to, you know what I mean? It's just finding another medium to kind of get that creativity out, I guess. But yeah, it's been interesting. You know what I mean? You get to talk to friends that you that you've been putting tattoos before, and family members that you've been putting tattoos before. You know what I mean? Reintroduce yourself to your children.
Yeah, that's a big one, bro. Yeah,
you know what I
that's a
mean?
massive one. You find out stuff about your children like that you almost like, rah, you're really like how I was as a youth.
Jesus Christ, it's been
Yeah.
mad. Yeah, you obviously end of the day, I feel no guilt in saying just not just being an artist, but being a shop owner as well. A lot of my time's been had to be invested, sometimes 6, 7 days a week in the 5 year span that I've opened. It's a bit more easier now, but I ain't gonna lie, like there's certain times I've had to put the shop before my family, friends, all the
Yeah.
rest of it. Sacrifices had to be made. So I think everything happens for a reason, and I've realigned and readjusted certain things in my life. It's about introspection, man. Looking inside. I think that's something that's ringing kind of nation, not even just nation, worldwide. You know what I mean? Everyone's had to look within self. You know what I mean? There's no more distractions, you know what I mean? There's no more parties, there's no more this, no more that. You know what I mean? There's nowhere to hide. Everyone's had to look within themselves, look within their relationships with the surrounding people around them, and yeah, themselves really. And that's what the the lockdown did for me. I had to like look myself in the face and ask myself some serious questions, some serious demons that I'm still kind of dealing with now. You know what I mean? And that's what I took out of it. I always try and spin a positive out of a fuckery situation, like a negative situation. So that's what it's mainly done with me. I put tattooing to rest for a bit, forcibly, and yeah, just knuckled in on self, and that's helped me work myself out what I want from life, because you don't really get time to rest or time to think about what you want. You're always being dragged clients, you know what I mean? Sometimes other people. It's just you're just being tugged at, and you don't look at what you want. So I've done that for a period, and yeah, reassessed, realigned, and I feel refreshed, man.
Yeah,
Refreshed
yeah.
and ready. How about yourself, man?
I mean,
How's it been for you?
I've been good. My journey's been very similar to yours, as you know. Like I always feel like our journeys are always aligned. Like I opened Inkwa Tattoos literally like a year to the day that you opened Inkology.
Hmm.
Um, it's lockdown was good for me. The first one
Hmm.
was it was very much like a time to recruit back. Like you said, when you open a studio, it takes you away from your family, takes you away from your friends, takes you away from the things that you like to do, which for me is just practicing art in general. No
Hmm.
ties, no commissions, no nothing. It's me. It's 100% me. So I got the chance to do that, and that was excellent. There's no other word for it,
Hmm.
but it was just pure excellence. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, going back to what you said about when you started the studio 5 years ago, what was the inception of Inkology? How did you get to that point when you was like, right, I'm going to start this thing?
I'll tell you my journey, honestly. It's an interesting journey, but it might be similar to a lot of other people's journeys. So basically, around the time when because I used to be a music artist before I was a tattoo artist. I don't know if people know, but I used to do spoken word. I was a dancer for a bit, and also just a general kind of uh, vocalist. So I was pursuing that for a while. I done some good things, traveled all different places in the world, earned a lot of money, seen a lot of things, and got stuck in that sense. Had a lot of fun basically,
Mm.
and I got to the point where I realized that I don't think I could actually do it as a career. So I had to kind of reassess. I ended up getting in trouble with the law, trouble with the police. Luckily, I didn't go jail, but I had to do a few things that restricted my time and freedom. So tagged and community service, all the rest of it, quite a lot of it. So I was forced to sit down and think about what I'm doing. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I hadn't drawn for a while. I used to draw in aeroplanes and tour buses, all the rest of it, but I hadn't sat down and thought about what I want to do seriously for a career because I weren't feeling music anymore. So in this period, I started drawing. I met AJ, who taught me certain things initially in my beginning stages of tattooing, and then she um, had to go back to Trinidad for a while. So I was left with a basic skill set of tattooing and no one to really teach me because I already approached a few shops, etc. So I had a son on the way. He's like 9 now, and I just said, I'm just gonna hit the road. I'm gonna do what I've got to do with the skill set I've got. So I just basically filled the gap of where shops wasn't. So I could tattoo you in the comfort of your home. I could give it to you at a cheaper price because I didn't have overheads, all the rest of it. And that was the two main functions. And a lot of people wanted black tattoo artists at the time.
I
You know what I
remember,
mean? That
yeah.
understand how to tattoo black skin because there weren't that much of us at the time. So it's like I come around at a decent time where things were flourishing. It
Yeah.
was a positive thing to be.
There was like seven of us. There was like seven of us at the time. I think it was me. I was thinking me, you,
Yeah,
Edge. No, you are Edge.
yeah.
Me, you, Will, Sammy,
Tell me,
Guns,
Craig,
AJ
Kev,
was about.
Kev,
I think that was it.
Steve.
That was it. Was dry. It was real dry at the time. Well, I say dry. It was wet
There
for
was
us, but it
there's
was dry.
quite there's quite a few. There was quite a few.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the names now, but there was quite a few. So right, so now I've got a basic skill set. I'm hitting the road, and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting decent, pretty pretty good, and I can't imagine doing this for the rest of my life. I don't want to stay in the same position for the rest of my life. And that whole stigma of scratch out, all the rest of it, I wanted better. As I had a child on the way, so I wanted something legit and reputable that I could pass on. So my whole ammo and motivation was to set up a studio. So at first, I set up one in my mum's. You know what I mean? I had my spare room in there, and I kept it clean. You know what I mean? I had all the rules, everything. Like I had an autoclave in my mum's, I had sharp spins, all the rest of it. Anything that's in my shop was in. It was just a different box, if that makes sense. It
He was
wasn't as
preparing
big.
the model, basically. He was preparing the model to take into the shop.
Yeah, mum. And if you ask any of my clients from the start, you know what I mean, you can't ever say that I moved scatty. You can say you didn't like the artwork. I can probably agree with you at the beginning stages, all the rest of it, but I never moved scatty on the whole hygiene side. So fast forward 2 years. It only took about 2 years. I met up with my old school friend from school, John. You met John.
Mm.
He had money. I had a bit, not as much. So he was the main investor. I was the talent. He was the back end side of things. He could build the actual shop. He knew. He was like a handyman, engineer, all the rest of it. So he had all that kind of unlock, and I had the skill set. So that's how it started. And I just didn't look back. I had nothing. I had nothing to lose. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I said to myself, I'm not going back to what I was doing. I'm never digressing. That's one thing someone always taught me. Never digress. I never wanted to go back to my mum's bedroom. I just look forward. I asked you for, I think you hollered me for advice at the beginning stages if I ever needed
Yeah.
anything. So I appreciate that, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't think anyone else did or ever has.
I just, you know, do you know what it was? At the
You know what
time,
I
I
mean?
was just like, I was like you. I was looking around, and it was like there was no black studios. I think I knew one in the whole of
Mm,
London, and it was somewhere in East London. I can't remember where in East London it was. It was a place called Black Ink. Black Ink, I think it was called.
okay.
And that's all. That's actually tell a lie. There's another Black Ink in Birmingham, but that's Black Ink Diamonds, I think. But those are the only two studios that I knew. So when I opened my studio and then you will open yours, and you was like, "Oh, I need help." I was like, "Whatever you want." So whatever we need to get the numbers up. We need to get the numbers up. So yeah, when you
No, respect for that,
it's
man.
not a problem.
I appreciated that, man. 100%. And yeah, that meant a lot because it's like it's in this tattoo world, it's like you're on your own to a certain extent. Whoever you know within your small circles, you're on your own. And I'm quite introvert. I'm within myself. I keep myself to myself. Plus, I've got trust issues, so I don't trust anyone. Anyone trying to click up and all the rest of it. I always try and work out the MO and what their motive is, etc. That's just my personal, you know what I
Mm.
mean, issue. But that's just the way I move. But I don't anymore, you know what I mean. But
I think
it
it's
takes
good to an
time for
extent
me
though.
to.
You got to keep a bit of you got a bit of self-preservation is always important. You can't walk around
No,
there
of
and just
course,
trust everyone, and then you just end up getting bun up and left with nothing. So yeah,
of
I
course,
mean, it's a
you
good
gotta
thing, but
give
it's just
some
having it in
people
balance, isn't it?
of course, 100%. You gotta keep it. You gotta give some people a chance. Sometimes that's what I'm learning to do. But yeah, man. So basically, 2 years of doing my thing on the road at my mum, and then opened the shop, and yeah, just my whole back to the question, my whole motivation at the start was I kept picking up what people were saying client wise. They kept saying, I don't like going to tattoo shops because of the rock music. I don't like going to tattoo shops because it's always dark walls of painting with this, or I don't like the artwork. I don't like the vibe. You know what I mean? That was always the vibe, the vibe, the vibe, the vibe. Okay, so I know that I've been in tattoo shops that I didn't necessarily like the vibe of either. So if I make one that looks clinical at the same time comfortable and universally kind of appealing to not just young but old and just had a general decent vibe to it, then it could kick off. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I didn't. That's what I'm saying. I didn't really look at any other shops as examples. I feel, which is a good thing in hindsight, because the shop has its own kind of unique vibe to it. It's just plain white walls. There's hardly any art on there, which gives you clear thought, clear
Mm.
state of mind. So we're not dictating what what you need to come in here for. It's just like, I just want your ideas, because the whole thing was the psychology of what you're inking. That's the whole name process that I went through. So inkology. So I just wanted people to kind of have a at least some kind of thought before they got inked. I didn't care what your thought process was. It might be
Yeah.
anything from well, I don't want to judge anyone, but anything that I might not necessarily like or take to, but as long as you put thought into it, then let's do it. Your thoughts combined with my thoughts, or whoever artist is working at the shop's thoughts, and produce unique pieces that are against the grain. You know what I mean? Go against the status quo. You know what I mean? Just different. You know what I mean? And that's a bit of a struggle that I've found. You know what I mean? I've always been a slightly different, just in general, whether it's music, whatever I do, slightly different. But I've never necessarily been that confident. So it's like I found it hard to push my style when all these other things were more popular. So I'm just like, okay, like,
Do you still find
why?
it hard to push your style? Because obviously, I feel because like yourself, I'm very stringent about having a style, like about me always
Mm,
putting a bit of my own soul into a piece. Do you find it
mm,
hard, like with what's going on? Everybody's like always clamors towards one side of tattooing because it's successful or it's deemed successful, and then as soon as that bit is been sucked dry, they just clamor over to
mm,
and do the same thing.
mm.
Do you find
Yeah.
it hard? Still find it hard to be that be yourself within the industry?
I find it hard to sometimes be myself in general, if I'm honest with you. That's just a personal kind of thing, because it's like sometimes I've I thought like sometimes my thoughts are just a wild rope. And it's a case of being afraid of people judging me, but I'm slowly coming out of that, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I actually feel it internally. I don't really, I'm going back because I think at one point I really didn't give a shit. And
yeah,
then it got to the point where it was like, it's like certain people were telling me I'm too arrogant and, you know what I mean, all the rest of it, which I don't feel I was, but I think I took it to heart a bit, and then I kind of backed down
yeah,
a bit from my own self, you know what I mean? And then I was just catering, you know what I mean? Catering, doing my own art on the side, but tattoo wise, catering. And it's to the point where I find that now I'm putting out my own spin on things, how I personally want to do it. There's people that accept and like it, and there's gonna be people that don't, you know what I mean? And I'm comfortable with that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There's enough artists, enough work out there for everyone, and I'm comfortable. I can't tattoo everyone, so it's no point being appealing to
exactly.
everyone.
I
You
think
know what
when
I
you
mean?
start, you always wanna tattoo everyone, and you wanna be the best, and you kind of realize after a while that you don't need to be the best, just be the best you. And I mean,
That's
you dropped a piece saying that actually, talking about coming back or going forward to your own work. You dropped
mm,
a piece, and I was like, yeah, Edge is back. It was like
mm. Wednesday.
it was a Africa piece, and it was like you had your lines and your digital pieces in it, and I was like, yeah, Edge is back. Edge is back.
Yeah, because you know what it is. You know why you know that I give my heart and soul into pieces. You can see it in my bloody work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when 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 I'm struggling or wondering or catering, or you can see it, and
mm,
then you can see when I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I'm forthright in what I'm doing, and I'm giving you everything. Now, you know what I mean? Heart and soul, emotional transmutation, and giving you everything. And I think I noticed when I realized that my best work comes out when I just don't let any channels dictate what I'm doing. That's when I said to myself, okay, well, I'm living out my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing. What everyone else says doesn't matter too much. You know what I mean? End of the day, it's good to to hear advice, take on advice, etc. But no one knows or can see what you can. And you know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing that's your job as a creative to put out who you are, what you are. And so obviously as that's where it gets a bit tricky, Rob, because when it comes to art, you get full license to do whatever you want to do.
Mm.
That's you, whatever colors you want to do. It doesn't matter what skin tone, etc. You can do whatever you want to do and change it how you please. When it comes to tattoos, it's a collaboration. End of the day, you don't own full rights to that person's skin. You might own full rights to the creative process of the tattoo, but you know what I mean, there's a form of compromise that has to be um, addressed. And you get to that point sometimes when some people you experience it, some people just like, yeah, you do what you want, bro. You know what I mean? I like your
Mm.
style, do what you want. And then you get some people that they like your style, but they might not necessarily see the vision, trust the vision, and it becomes a kind of negotiation
Yeah.
where you're just like, okay, well, let me try this, and you know, I mean, see how you feel about this. And sometimes you have to draw out things to explain it because not everyone's visual. You
Mm.
know what I mean? We get caught up in thinking that everyone thinks like we do, but they don't. So that's what I learned as well. You have to, like, I would just tell people, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll just invert that and and they just don't get it. You
Yeah, they're
have to
looking at you
break it
blank.
down. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, what was the question?
I don't know. We just kind of move through questions.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I was just saying that art is total freedom and tattooing sometimes can be a collaboration.
yeah.
And I think the more that you home in on your art, and that's why, you know what I mean, I've got respect for you because you've just consistently done what you've wanted to do. At certain points, I've just been like, "Oh, Rob, why don't you switch it up a bit?"
Not
'Cause, you know,
one bit.
not gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie. Look, I was just feeling like,
No, do you know it? Do you know what it is? Because I like I love realism. I love
Mhm,
Japanese. I love
mhm,
traditional. I love all styles of art and tattooing. But what it is for me is that I don't like too many rules. So, you know,
mm,
with a traditional piece, if it's not done with thick lines or certain colors, it's not traditional no more. With realism,
mm,
if you put the dot in the eye in the wrong place, it's looking in the
mm.
wrong direction.
Okay,
With
my
my
question.
style, it's like
Go.
I can do what I want. I can make
Okay,
it work.
okay, all
Mm.
right. My question now is: do you do that or choose that avenue of your style because you don't have to follow a certain discipline, or you're free to kind of make mistakes, or even if it comes out wild
It's
or
more the following of the
out of
discipline. It's more the following of the
yeah.
discipline. 'Cause I find with whatever I do, whether I'm doing like play football or martial arts or whatever, I always end up
Mhm.
doing things in my
What?
own way because it's like
Okay,
it's how I perceive it. And
okay, all right,
yeah,
okay.
I kind
I'm
of see it
not
like
alone then.
yeah, no, not
Yeah.
at all, not at all. Like with Inkwa tattoos, what I do is I keep people around me that
Mm,
um if you come in and you want to get a portrait, you can go to Joe or Will.
mm,
You come in and you want to get tribal, you can go to Boale. Because I know that
mm,
if I do them, I can do it, I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna enjoy it. So it better go to a person that's gonna enjoy it. See that? I mean, that's the team. Like they cover my back, I cover theirs. So in the end, it's one hand washes the other in the end.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely have found that I'm a rule breaker. Even I like to put some people's eyes up here, and I don't like. I can, because my dad was a oil painter. He's amazing oil painter. He can, you know what I mean, do it to the T. But myself, it's just like my brain works fully differently. I just wanna. I don't. It's like I look at realism. Okay, realism. There's a portrait of someone and there's a picture of someone. Why duplicate that again when you can switch it up?
Yeah.
Make it even if it's vibing it up in your own way. That's the way my brain works. And I'm not saying following it to the T isn't the right way at all. I fully respect that, because certain times I looked at my dad and other realistic paintings, just like, how do you do that? But for me, and which is no problem at all, I like to do shit a bit differently. You know what I mean? And as I said, there's room for all types of styles, and whoever likes it will gravitate towards you. And they don't have to like it enough to get it on their skin, because some people aren't that confident. Some people just want to fit in. That's the kind of sheeple world that we live in at the moment. You know what I mean? Some people, they'll come in with a tattoo on someone else's arm, famous or not, and say, I want the exact same tattoo. It's like, for me, I represent and have always represented individuality and being unique. It's just a case of certain times it's wavered and I've questioned myself. But as I said, I think lockdown was good for me, because it's like, you know, when you get sat down in a boxing match, you get battered for how many years? You get battered for years, you get sat down, and then God comes in your shoulder, starts massaging you, puts the ice pack,
Yeah.
revitalizes you, you have a talk with yourself, and then you come back and you're just like, fuck it, nothing to lose. You know what I mean? That's the kind of vibe I'm on now. And obviously it will take a while to materialize. Certain things have been noticed, you notice certain things, but yeah, it's just everyone's on their own journey, and yeah, respect and love to everyone on their own journey. What makes me happy ain't gonna make the next man happy. And
Yeah, exactly.
that's it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
you've bought through a lot of people through your studio. A lot of guys and girls. I like to put everyone under one thing, but a lot of brothers and sisters are coming through your studio, man. Like, so if you want to big anyone up, that's there,
Yeah, man.
coming through.
Oh, yeah. So I could go through initially. So I was on my own initially. Then I brought through Skulls. Big up Skulls. He helped me with the initial.
Yeah, big up Skull still.
Yeah, big up AJ, who initially taught me. Not too sure where you can find her. I think she's in Hackney at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, I think she got a private studio. I think she got a private studio now.
Okay. Yeah, big up AJ, because at the end of the
big
day,
up AJ still.
As I say, I show respect and dues to anyone that's taught me anything, whether they intended to or not. And she probably doesn't know it, but at that time of my life, it was a proper low point. And out of all the studios I went to trying to find an apprenticeship, you know what I mean, she's the only person that said to me, I will teach you. Obviously, her circumstances happened. She couldn't extend that to as long as she wanted to. But, you know, I mean, that was a life changer, because if I didn't receive that, who knows where I would have been or what kind of madness. I was moving wilder. But yeah, big up AJ. Also, if I go artist for artist, it'll be too much. Big up Jaman, Alex, Italian. I believe he's in Mordem. He's in Next Chapter Tattoos. Who else? There's been. I don't want to make it like there's been
A bag of
there
people
happens,
past.
yeah. I'll just trying to. Raul spent quite a bit of time. Just going through the ones that spent a bit of time, and then obviously Sammy, big up Sammy Inks.
Yeah, big up
He's
Sammy.
currently, yeah, he's currently at the studio. He's my business partner at the moment. So Sammy's been there. It's been. I don't know if there's any more that I've missed out.
I think you
There's
big up
been
everyone,
more.
man. I think you
No,
big up
I haven't.
everyone.
I
Aren't
haven't.
you? Oh, right.
But I'm leaving certain people out for reasons. No, I'm joking. No, just the ones that probably stayed. No, fucking no. My team at the moment, shit. Tiana, big up Tiana. Big up Alex Alcadera. Big up Shin. Big up Suze. And big up, these are my piercers as well. And big up Mia Carla, who's my receptionist. And they all hold me down, you know what I mean, in all different ways. Because as you know, end of the day, as an owner and an artist, it can be a bit, it can be torn
Overwhelming.
in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
And initially, I started the studio. I was there doing everything on my own. So what happened is I brought people in, and then I couldn't delegate because I was so used to doing stuff on my own. So it reached a point where I had to I'm at that point now where I've had to kind of sit back and let people kind of
Manage
take a bit
themselves.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I mean, everyone's capable there. And as I said, everyone, you know what I mean, holds me down in different ways. And whether they know it or not, their influences on my life and the way it shaped and molded me as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Before we quickly wrap it up, tell me about
Hmm.
your new venture, your Calm Care products. Tell us about that.
Now, you know I'm a salesman, innit?
Yeah, of course.
So,
I knew
all
you'd
right,
have it
so
ready.
basically, oh, doesn't matter how long I'll be on this earth. I'm always gonna be a hustler, legal or not. All right, so this is the big calm butter. So this acts as it's basically a natural cocoa butter. It's
Okay.
better than cocoa butter. So I'll send you some actually. I should have sent you some
I'm
long
gonna
time.
talk to you after this quickly about it still. But go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. All right, cool. So it's got shea butter, mango butter, coconut oil, vitamin E oil, and it smells amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, I've got Calm CBD. Similar thing, smells a bit different, and it's got a high dosage of CBD in it. So this works with tattoos during the tattoo process or after. You know what I mean? It's amazing as well. Brings down the swelling, inflammation, and yeah, makes it easier to work with. As I said, I'll send you both of them. They're both available on calmcareproducts.co.uk. And yeah, I've got a lip balm, I've got a beard oil coming, a soap, and a deodorant. So what it is, I said the Pantham's not the one anymore. I think
Nah.
it's the industry kind of no. So and two, it's just like why not sell your own aftercare?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. All right, the CBD one. My dad was dying of cancer, and he needed something strong for his muscles and joints, etc. So I invented that one for him, and then um, the calm butter, the standard one. I was just fed up of buying cocoa butter, all these things that dry out your skin, etc.,
Mm.
and don't really work. And end of the day, it's like you grow your own fruit and veg, etc. At least you know exactly what's going in it and what you're producing. It's the same kind of concept. I know exactly what I'm putting on my skin and I'm putting on my kid's skin, and I know it's gonna be positive. You know what I mean? So that's the initial basis of setting that up. Then I just branched out into lip balms and all the rest of it. I've also got a exhibition in next year. I'll say next year, and yeah, I'll be featuring a lot of this art. So a lot of my art lights up and is it does a lot of optical illusions, and as I said, my brain thinks different. So when I go to I went to paint this. I went to paint this, and this is how it bloody turned out. I just think 3D. I
Yeah.
think why not? When I go past it, what if the mouth lit up, or you know what I mean? How would that make you feel? Emotional based artist, so that's why I like to hear what people um feel about the tattoos or what it means to them, so I can transmutate that into art form.
Mm.
And yeah, I just on expressing myself, man. But
Yeah, man,
yeah,
that's dope. All right, brother, big up your chest. You're doing good work. You're doing very good work, and I'm definitely gonna collab with you. Not collab with you, but I'm gonna talk to you about the CBD Calm Care tattoo product.
mm,
I want to start
yeah,
some of that in the studio. So yeah,
mhm.
but give thanks for being on the show, and we'll do it again. I want to do one with a few other people as well, but I want to do one with like the originals that we was talking about earlier on with everybody.
Yeah.
So
You
we
know
should have
what?
a
I'll be
little
honest.
yeah, man.
If you asked me to do this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I probably would have said no, because one, I just a recluse, and I don't like
Yeah.
all this camera and stuff. And two, I just, I don't know. I think I was in a bad place.
Yeah, me neither.
I
I
grew up
wasn't a
in,
fan of
you
it,
know
and
what
then I just said to myself, I've just got to do it. If it's a
I mean?
fear, it's got to be killed. It's got to go. So it's like that was
That's
it.
it. We're
Just do it
addressing our fears.
and keep doing it.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give
100%, man.
thanks
I
though.
enjoyed it. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing. Um, yeah, I definitely have to come up and check you. And you know what I mean? You have to big up yourself as well, because I know personally it ain't easy, and you've been doing it for longer than myself. So, you know what I mean? Big up everyone in the industry. You know what I mean? It's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah.